In this video, we are going to talk about instruction cycle and different steps that are performed during the instruction execution. We already know about these steps. These are fetch, then instruction decode, then operand fetch, then they are execute, and finally the write back stage in which the data is written back in the memory. So now let's see the complete state diagram of the instruction cycle and see how these steps are executed. The first step in the state diagram is instruction fetch. The new instruction or the current instruction is fetched from the instruction memory. After that, the instruction goes to the decoder and control logic, and it is decoded and control signals are generated. After decoding of the instruction, the operand address are computed and operands are fetched from the appropriate memory locations. Now for multiple operands, these two steps are repeatedly executed. After operands are fetched, it goes to the execute stage. That is, it goes to ALU and data operation is performed. That is specified in the instruction. After data operations are performed, we compute the address of the destination if specified in the instruction. If it is implicit, then we just go and store the operands in that destination address. Now again, for multiple results, these steps are repeatedly executed. Now basically we have completed the entire instruction execution. Now after each instruction is executed, some processor specifies that the another task that CPU needs to perform is nothing but interrupt check. So the processor checks for any interrupt is present, and if any interrupt is present, then it is to be serviced. If no interrupts are there pending, then it goes to the completion of the instruction. So in this way, the entire instruction is complete, and we need to compute the next instruction address. And again, the next instruction is fetched in the next cycle. So here we have completed the entire state diagram of the instruction cycle. I hope you have understood it, and the significance of each operation is very important. And we are going to see how these operations are actually performed in the CPU. For organization perspective of this instruction cycle, we need to look at the internal CPU architecture or the organization. So let's look at the CPU architecture now. So in the single bus CPU organization is given as this. So here we have the single bus CPU organization. Now this bus that is shown here is internal CPU bus, to which all the registers in the CPU organizations are connected. So let's see how exactly the instruction is executed inside the CPU organization. The first element you need to see is the program counter. The PC is going to contain the address of the current instruction, and it is going to put it on the internal CPU bus. Then somehow internal CPU bus is going to communicate with the instruction memory through the MAR register and MBR registers, and it is going to have the instruction fetched from the instruction memory. Then the instruction is going to the instruction register. You have already seen this, the significance of this register. It is going to store the current instruction till it is executed. Instruction register provides the signals to the instruction decode unit. Now instruction decode, and this is nothing but the control logic which is going to generate these different control signals for all the elements in this CPU, and as well as the other elements such as memory and IO devices. We know that control signal depends on the instruction that is to be executed. Then, depending on the control signals, different operations are performed in this part of the area, this area of the CPU. That is, these are general purpose registers. These registers can be fetched if they are specified as operands, or we can again have the memory accessed through MAR and MBR, that is memory address and memory data registers. After this is operands are fetched through either register memory or external memory, we are going to have ALU operation. So you can see here these registers X, that is stores the operand for the ALU. Then there is another input to the ALU. Then ALU result is stored in register Y to avoid the looping, combinational looping. The result is stored in the Y. And finally, this is again goes to the internal CPU bus, and it can be written on any memory location we want in the write back stage. So I hope you have understood so far how each functional unit in the CPU organization operates during different stages of the instruction. And you're going to see the step-by-step operations in the next few videos. So please stay tuned. Thank you for watching.